Hey guys, welcome to the first ever podcast for HashMP. We're an EU4 multiplayer group that runs our own balance mod, and we just started our second campaign on Wednesdays. My name is Maki, and I do the SAR, or Session Action Report, for our games. And with me I have a couple players, one from each of our ongoing games. Seb is playing Italy in our Sunday game, if you want to say hi, Seb.
Hello.
And Phoenix is playing Mamluks in our Wednesday game. Just as a disclaimer, I won't be asking these players to reveal any Diplo or prior deals, especially since these games are ongoing. We wouldn't want to affect any diplomatic states with these podcasts. But just starting off with our Sunday game, Seb, could you talk a little bit about the position of your nation? You're playing Italy, and what you were up to last session. I understand there was some very large-scale warfare in Europe for just like the majority of the session.
Yeah, okay, well, at the start of the session, we were already in the World War. We were fighting Austria-Hungary and the Russians as me, Swiss, and Dutch, but the Swiss kind of backstabbed us and decided, because there was no wording there, he just took a piece that favored them and just flipped side. And then Ash just repeatedly attacked me.
Yeah, Hash was playing Austria-Hungary, and it seemed like for the majority of the session he was just kind of running it down mid on Italy. He seemed to have like a good war goal on you in that war, but didn't really turn that around into a victory. Why was that?
Well, you see, you might have the history of war goal, but that only gives you 40% war score in the mod, so you have to win battles, which means when you get stack wipe multiple times, it's not a war score, and you need to siege more than one province. So when you always go for the same hill or mountain fort, it doesn't really work out that well.
Yeah, he seemed to be sort of just like trying to force his way through Treviso, and then they
Yeah.
when Russia joined the war, they were trying to swing up through the Netherlands, and that wasn't really working either. So it was kind of a rough time for them. I saw that you went sort of a unique build for Italy. You went Pluto opener and then Influence second, so it was sort of like a Merc vassal spam build, which no one else in the game went. How do you think that stood up to like the more meta quality Inno builds?
I think quality is way better at fighting on your own. But I gotta say, my Vassal Swarm actually did a lot in the early game, so I don't know if Influence second is that good, but you can see it.
I
But I would
mean,
Pluto.
it does have some interesting bonuses. Like you get the mercenary maintenance, which is kind of bad, but you do get the ability to spam out a lot more um, vassals, and you get the war exhaustion reduction, and you get the dip tech cost and dip advisor cost. So you are staying ahead on dip, even with like going over dip low limit for vassals.
Yeah, the underrated part is the early game, if you're a miner, you take a lot of war exhaustion just from being a miner. So
Mm-hmm.
the war exhaustion reduction was pretty huge, especially since I lost the naval war to tennis. So I was blockaded a lot.
For
That
sure.
helped out a lot.
So Phoenix,
But
you were in the Sunday game as well, right? So you were on Poland, but you were doomed pretty early because you were inted by Hash as well. Seems to be the common theme. Um,
Uh,
what do you think about the Poland start, their RNG, their general position relative to other players? Because you didn't really seem to have any other option besides fighting Austria-Hungary, but you were just kind of like outclassed at that point, even with the Ottomans coming in to defend you.
I mean, the only RNG that's kind of iffy is the Moldavia RNG.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of having Cossacks or not having Cossacks, and especially if Hungary gets the Cossacks, it changes a lot uh, regarding the Ottomans war.
It's that
But
swing of 20% or
yeah, I
cavalry
mean,
combat
it's
ability.
huge. I mean, they have 20% in their traditions already, so they get up to 40.
Yep, definitely.
But yeah, in this Sunday game, the PLC just fought too many fronts, like Sweden, Muscovy, Hungary, Austria, and yeah, it was too much. And towards the end of the session, I was out of manpower, and Ash just swung into me. And I think from that point on, there was no recovering. Like I was
Yeah.
on 8 income, fully sieged, and yeah.
I mean, even though you were keeping up on ideas because that 666 ruler lived so long, it just wasn't really a comeback position.
Yeah, I mean, we tried, like, Dog tried to revive me and giving me the gold mine back, and I was in a decent spot in mid-session too, but when Dog attacked Tunis, Hash took the opportunity and rushed me down with, like, 2 electors, and yeah, we couldn't really make that work from that point anymore.
And to clarify for those of you that haven't actually played with the mod before, Poland starts without Lithuania as a PU because we put a player on Lithuania. So most often these Polish and Lithuanian unions of 2 players have to do their best to play sort of a co-op gameplay and survive. But recently, in most recent games, they've been getting sandwiched, and it's looking like it may continue in the Wednesday game. So if you could talk about the Wednesday game a little bit and how that Poland is doing. We have Kavian on Lithuania, and we have Pieman on Poland. I can tab over to the scanner bag here. So we have Pieman on Poland here and Kavian on Lithuania.
Yeah, it seemed like they were just sitting back in the early game, trying to use their farmlands and stuff to just step up and scale a bit. Because both Poland and Lithuania kind of want to get some ideas going. Especially Poland, because their idea set is backloaded to really make stuff work. But yeah, then all of a sudden, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but that Muscovy war started where Austria helped Poland and Lithuania.
Mm-hmm.
And now Lithuania looks kind of scuffed, to be honest. Like, the Cossacks at 100 influence, and yeah.
They still have Muscovy's capital occupied, but I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Yeah, because Austria left the war for money, so it's now Poland, Lithuania against Sweden, Muscovy, and I'm not sure whether they can take that.
For sure. And talking about starting positions, Seb, you started as Venice, and that's how you went into Italy. How would you say Venice's starting position is without their overseas colonies in the mod and like relative to Naples and Genoa's starts?
You do start the strongest on paper, but your position is really dependent on Austria's willingness to let you live in the early game, and also the potential outside HRA allies you can gather.
For
But
sure.
you have the best PvE expansion because no one wants to contest your expansion. Like, Genoa and Naples will fight each other to the death for the Tuscany state, but you just take Milan, Ferrara, Mantua, and you fight.
Right, you get the entire Lombardy state for free, basically.
Yeah, you get 250 dev for free, while the other 2 Italians gets to like 150, and then they have to scrap with the other one.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we're talking about rebalancing missions a little bit. Do you think mission balance is needed for Naples and Genoa, or do you think just like all 3 could get new missions and we can just sort of make them a little more fun to play?
I mean, the Naples/Venice missions rework we should kind of put on the table were pretty good, giving Venice the opportunity to get its colony back and potentially just get super land Greece and get permanent modifiers here. That's pretty. And Naples getting stuff in Tunis would be interesting. But yeah, Tunis and Genoa, not Tunis, Naples and Genoa probably needs a revamp tree, especially for the early game because you could play a lot of game between these modules.
For
Also,
sure.
Genoa's vanilla focus tree requires you leaving the HRE, which is kind of dumb. So.
Yeah, I think we scrapped that side of the tree, just to begin with, because for those of you who don't know, we reworked the HRE, so it has some very powerful reforms. Like the last reform is infantry combat ability. Most of the reforms give some form of base manpower or con cost or base tax. So it's very incentivized for the HRE to work together to pass these reforms, and it's kind of stupid to force a Genoa player to simply leave the HRE just for their mission tree. But Phoenix, moving back to the Wednesday game, you absolutely demolished the Ottomans, unlike the Mamluks player in the Sunday game. Could you like walk us through how that was such an easy war and just maybe the balance of the Ottoman start?
I think Circus just, or the Ottoman player just made some mistakes in the early game. Like I was able to get both Ramazan and Dokadir as my vassals, and that's a huge swung in Mamluk favor.
Yeah,
And
I saw you pieced out Karaman for just 2 provinces or 3 provinces. You just
yeah, the thing is, I attacked Dokadir to vassalize them, and then both Karaman and AQ attacked Dokadir. So I just got caught in the defensive war, basically.
mm-hmm.
The thing is, I think AQ decked and called in Karaman, so Karaman wasn't a co-belligerent. That's why I only could take 2 provinces. I couldn't fully annex them or vassalize them. Otherwise,
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you got the fort province, which was the important part, but it didn't look like you were on the defensive at any point in that war. I mean, I'm playing QQ in this game, and I had a deal to send condottieri to Mamluks, but it wasn't even needed because you were already like at 40 battle war score, like full sieging Anatolia by the time I looked over.
Yeah, I mean, Circus seemed to not be able to get any allies. Like Poland wasn't helping, QQ, Tunis, no one was helping really. And I think in the mod, Mamluks are pretty decent. Like we buffed them, the starting ruler and shit. And yeah, I don't know. I decked on him after I got the Balix, and he never really got to push me back. And a couple years into the war, I could have called in Dog on Hungary.
Mm-hmm.
And from that on, it was really easy actually, because you can just bounce the Ottoman army between the Hungarian and Mamluks, and what is he gonna do? He can't be in 2 places at once. So
right, and he can't beat either of your armies, so it wasn't really a fair fight. And I think he missed out on Kosovo too. I think Dog sniped that, so he didn't have the income either.
He attacked Albania, but Dog called it Jerry to Albania, and you have to siege down a mountain fort, so it's not easy to actually beat that.
Yeah, so, definitely. I know you were debating between the idea sets of Rum and Mamluks. Did you ever decide on that idea set choice or not? Because there's in the region there's several interesting debates between idea sets. Like QQ can form Ilkhanate, it can form Persia. Mamluks can form Rum or keep the Mamluk idea sets, which were buffed. There's some debates between like idea sets in Eastern Europe. So like, if you could give us some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Rum idea simply because last time I played Mamluks, I stayed with Mamluk ideas, so I'm gonna switch it up this time.
Yeah.
But I think they're not that far off. Like
I mean, you lose the infantry combat ability, but you do gain some force limit.
I mean, you gain 10 morale as well in Rum ideas. It's pretty good.
Gotcha. And
you've got some useless stuff in there, like religious strength against heretics and stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, Seb, you took Italian ideas in the Sunday game because Venice ideas just like are kind of trash. Yeah, like do you think they need a rework, or do you think they're just in a good place and it forces Italy to push for another idea set?
I mean, the problem with Venice ideas is that they're really good navally, which is fine. But in your position, you're not really in a position to use your navy as much as in vanilla, because you don't really have as many colonies.
Right. You lose Crete, you lose the Aegean Islands, you lose Corfu. Pretty much the only overseas thing you have is Istria, and that's basically right next to you.
Yeah. So the problem is they have a lot of dead ideas in their group. Like you have one diplomat that's not really worth an idea. You have spy defense, which again is not worth an idea at all. It can be funny with espionage and counter-espionage, since they'll literally not be able to make any claims on you. But outside of meme factor, that's not a very useful idea. They have like stability cost and a lot of useless stuff. So the only good thing they have is in the mod they get shock damage received as their tradition. So at least early game you're some competent.
Right, like if you roll a good shock general, you can win those shock phases if you're running 4 to 6 cav. So you can win those early Italian PvE wars and stuff.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
just fall off a cliff compared to Genoese and Napoli.
I mean,
Yeah,
Neapolitan ideas got buffed, yeah. And then Genoa gets funneled into that Sardinia Piedmont formation, so they have a pretty strong idea set to reach for immediately. So they get the fire damage, they get the galley combat ability and morale hit when losing a ship, they get the infantry combat ability. You know, they get some nice ideas for Sardinia Piedmont. So, I mean, we could look at like reworking the Venice ideas, but I think just removing some of those dead ideas like you're talking about would make them a lot stronger, and then giving them some missions. Because right now, the Venetian mission tree doesn't really make a lot of sense with the way we started them. And actually, do they even have a mission tree?
Yeah, you have to
Yeah, they have a few missions.
You have to have
Unique ones.
majority control in Genoa trade.
Oh
node
yeah, disrupt Genoese trade.
and Ragusa trade node, and if you have majority, you get diplo points and mercantilism, and you can
Yeah.
get perma claims on Crimea and Cyprus.
Yeah, it's kind of lame, especially since you don't even have a way to get over to Cyprus anymore because you lose the Crete province.
Well, you can.
Well, I mean, if you get the permaclaim on it.
Yeah, but are you really going to be contesting that Mamluks that early or Ottomans?
Yeah.
Is the question.
I
Well-
got it this game because Dog was too lazy to go transport.
And then you ended up giving it back to him.
Yeah, I just sold it to him.
Oh, you just want the trade efficiency, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted the trade efficiency. I thought, look, I have transports. I'll siege it for you, and
One thing that you can bet on is Dog being lazy. Yeah, he just wants to take those 100k stacks and force march them everywhere. I know in the Sunday game it's looking like there's going to be a big showdown between Barat and Ottomans. Do you want to talk on that a little bit, Seb? I don't know if you were seeing that front at all.
yeah, it just looks like India straight up wins. Like Bharat has twice the manpower as the Ottoman.
Yeah,
Tom
1 million
Cruise
max.
Yeah, I
He has
think
big
now
ball.
and Barat combined are like 5,000 death or something. It's kind of gross.
Yeah, so Bengal is just under 3,000 and Bharat's 2,800. So they're close to 6,000 combined death, which is a little ridiculous. Yeah, northern India is just a dev farm. Like they're all 21 dev, all of them. It's really gross.
I mean, it's basically all land from Spice Islands to Persia, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Combined.
Yeah,
And they have really good.
and
trade
southern
node.
China. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, and then Bharat's also has more income than Italy and Austria-Hungary put together. But
Ouch.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I kind of spiked up in income this session once I got control of the Genoa trade node.
what do you guys think about this Russia in the Sunday game? So Slazer built a pretty strong country early on. Like he had the strongest income coming into this session, which was kind of weird because he didn't have really many buildings built. But now he's falling behind and getting like wrecked by the Indians. Like there's literally a Bengalese full frontline stack sieging Muscovy, like the capital.
I think Slazer's idea choice was kind of weird. Like, we went defensive and offensive for Melodies,
Yeah.
and he doesn't really have mill policies, so quality-wise, the Indians are just blasting him away.
Yeah, his only mill policy that he can even think about running is manpower recovery speed 15 and production efficiency 10. It's the
Yeah.
expansion
he
Pluto.
went a full money build and didn't use his money to do anything. At one point, he was sitting with like 20,000 ducats in his fucking banks.
Yeah, and not building any force limit buildings. But
Also,
yeah, it
never really
looks
had
like-
force limit.
yeah. It looks like he's still at 278 income. He came into the session at 270. So it's kind of yikes there, but we'll see if he can pull through on it. He's still like a massive dev ball. He's got 2,700 dev. So it's very hard to kill a country with that much dev.
Well,
Yeah.
he has a lot of cultures in this country, so if they can, if he fully commits this war and starts getting separatists, it could actually get reduced to 1,000 dead really quick.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to culture convert. It looks like in like the Nogai area, but he still has like a lot of these Tatar cultures that are still floating around.
I mean, what he probably wants to do is peace out for, I don't know, a certain amount of land, and then probably set up the next war against India with the Ottomans.
Yeah, what happened with that war? Did Bharat just go in on Transox? Is that what happened? Looks like
I think they declared imperialist war on Transoxiana.
so they get that close war goal, but then they also get the imperialism CB.
Yeah, and Caesar hasn't built any forts on that front. In fact, he doesn't have that many.
Yeah, he has a level 2 fort on Astrakhan, and that's it. And you can literally walk up to like
And
Muscovy, basically.
he drained a lot of his manpower to attack the Italians/Dutch.
He almost said defend.
I was gonna say defend because that was defense, but no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he was inting pretty hard.
Yeah, he lost a lot of manpower, and he has not drilled the entire game, so he has no manpower bank.
Yeah, when you're sitting with 20k ducats and not drilling, it's a little
Really,
yikes.
he's really depending on his mercenaries, but he doesn't have the mercenary ideas, so I don't see how he can pull off a long-term war.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we also saw this session the death of Great Britain to the 5th consecutive Portuguese sea lion, with Denmark even swinging in and pushing Norway and Sweden out of the war by just like popping them out to rebels. What do you guys think about that colonial warfare? I've heard a few players complaining that it's just like really, really awful to play, and it's just like
Tornado's
hard to
a
micro.
greedy monster. He annexed Portugal, so he inherits the colony.
Yeah.
All he did is focus on sieging Portugal, and he had 100% for like 1 week, and he fucked it up.
Yeah, I was on Cuba and we were giggling about that. We were just like rapidly transferring provinces to Portugal in the New World so that we wouldn't get him 100%.
I think but the problem was the first couple of wars, he had the Dutch ship over a couple of stacks, and those Dutch stacks really, really turned the tide in the colonial war.
Yeah, we were fighting 80k Dutch, and the 80k Dutch were killing 200k colonial troops. It was a little disgusting.
Then the Dutch got bogged down into the continental wars, so they ship over troops, and the English quality was just not enough to deal with the Portuguese colonies war.
Yeah, the Portuguese colonies seem to be way stronger than the English ones in total.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at Netherlands, like for example, Netherlands bankrupt has almost as much morale as Great Britain normally. So there was that big quality difference that was huge for bringing those troops over. And then when the moment Netherlands couldn't prop the Great Britain up, the colonial war kind of fell apart. Because if we look at the colonies, we have Portuguese Louisiana that's like really strong. Let me see if I can get the colony code.
Yeah, Fish built up a really good colony.
Yeah, so we have Portuguese Louisiana fielding 114k, and then like rocking some actually pretty decent quality because he took the Inno quality build with Pluto and offensive. So he has good cannons. He's got good fire damage. He's got Merc spamming ability. Looks like his Merc force limit's pretty decent number. 34. So I mean that's pretty good for a colony. Yeah, it just looks like Mexico and Canada were too far behind to like actually put up a fight against Louisiana. Is what I was seeing from my perspective on Cuba. It wasn't like maybe, I mean Great Britain being a little greedy too, but maybe it was just the timing of the war that didn't really work out in his favor.
I think he was just banking on the Netherlands.
Definitely.
Getting him out of the war.
Well, and then
yeah, it kind of collapsed.
Yeah, and then Netherlands just got really bogged down in Europe. Like couldn't really support him anymore. So it looks like you guys ended the session at war with Austria-Hungary. So what's the deal with that?
Do you want the full rundown or?
I mean, if you want to give me a TLDR.
Alright, so TLDR, the session starts, we have the little piece, Swiss flip slide. So we decide, okay, he's rival to Sardinia, so let's attack Sardinia right now. Austria will come in, and we'll just bog down Austria. And we did that. We kicked his ass, but then Russia comes in, so we just stabbed it out Sardinia. Then immediately after stabbing out Sardinia, Ash Truce breaks into me with Denmark, and then he repeatedly attacks the Treviso fort and gets his head bashed in. And then we stack wipe like 2 stacks, and we completely routed his armies. And this time Russia wasn't there to bail them out, so we actually got all the way to Vienna and sieged it. But the truce with Russia ended, so again Russia bailed him out before we could get 100%. So we once again stabbed it out for Tyrol.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a little bit of peace, but Sardinia in the meantime just moved its capital to Sardinia and built a shit ton of galleys and just declared a freaking naval war on me. So I was bogged down in that, and while that was happening, Ash Truce broke me again. The biggest in with the Russians. So that was the biggest war, I would say. But this war, what happened is they got greedy. They kept drilling stacks in the background. They didn't micro their stacks properly. And after multiple stack wipes, the Russians were drained out, so India attacked them, and we could stab it out Austria for money because we couldn't take anything else. Because I was gonna, the Dutch was bankrupting, and I just wanted to pay off my loans. So I just took money in war reps, and then Ash again truce breaks the Dutch as he realized he bankrupts.
Oh boy.
So that's what we're in now. The Swiss also truce broke in a separate war, but he pieced out for some reason.
Yeah, I think he pieced out to attack Denmark. It looks like.
Yeah. Well, they also got wiped on the Liège, so they got wiped like 120k. So Swiss just gave up. So yeah, that's what's going on right now.
Gotcha. And I know you said to me, Phoenix, that you were planning on maybe taking a little more passive role in the next session on the Wednesday game. So I was looking at the Clausewitz, and you don't really have that much building value. But you were able to pay off your debt at least.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing for Ottomans or Mamluks is always just winning that one death war at the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
And after that, you just want to consolidate the region and build yourself up.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked easy, but Xerxes actually played the war kind of decently. Like, he rebel bombed me with noble rebels. I think I ran into them 5 or 6 times, and he truce broke me after the initial 100% piece. And yeah, it was harsher than it made look like.
Gotcha. And I mean, you do have Karaman and Dolkadir finishing their integration soon, so. Or are you integrating Dolkadir and Ramazan, or is it Karaman and Dolkadir?
I think it's Ramazan and Karaman.
Got you. So you'll have pretty much the Anatolian bit integrated, and once you finish off the Ottomans, you can form Rum. So
yeah,
so that'll be a good swap.
Culture switch then.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have to unstate Egypt for that, or will it be enough dev?
A couple of states, but only minor ones.
Yeah. I mean, Anatolia is a lot of dev, so if you have it all stated, it should be...
Yeah, Turkish culture is massive.
For sure. I mean, looking at the Sunday game, it looks like Dog didn't really dev the Anatolian culture that much, but it's definitely like a really great region to dev in because it's such a big culture group, and you don't really have to accept anything.
I mean, the culture group is really nice, that's true, but you don't have that much land to properly dev on. Anatolia doesn't really have farmlands.
I mean, yeah, there's some grassland and dry land in like the Aydin state and the Hundavendigar state and the Karadenas state, so like the coastal stuff. But like inland, it gets hard.
You don't have like the Wallachia state, right? 5 province state with trade center, and like That's literally the best thing you can get. You don't have that in Atom.
Right, that's 4 farmlands and a grassland with with the ability to get that tier 3 trade center for the dev cost reduction. So just like by basically existing, it has 30% dev cost reduction.
Yeah, basically.
Well, 35 because 5 from farmlands. So you get the prosperity, you get the edict, you get the trade, and you get the base farmland. So that's kind of ridiculous that the Wallachia state is like that. I think the Delhi state is also like that, but it starts at higher base tax. Lahore, I mean.
I mean, you can always exploit that.
Yeah, that's the meta, right? Exploit the base
It takes
tax.
some time, but you can do
Seb,
it.
how do you feel about base tax, Dev?
I actually exploited tax a couple of times, so.
You traitor.
Well,
You're the tax dever, though.
Yeah, but I dev the tax and I exploited.
Oh,
Actually,
big brain.
Like 400, 500 ducats per exploit. It's pretty good.
Big brain. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you guys. If you have any other input for the Sunday game, now would be the time. I mean, it looked like it was just a lot of inting.
I mean, I died a long time ago, so
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just an observer at this point, anyways.
Yeah, and it's looking like we did get a good number of players for the Wednesday game. We got about 41 signups, so going strong.
It's just an option for those who just can't play on Sundays, right? And maybe wanted to join the group all the time but couldn't.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of players that couldn't play on like other days in the week, but would like to play with the hash mod. So like this is like a good option for like them to play with the balance mod, get used to it, and yeah, I think it's a good addition. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for appearing on the podcast, and I'll be back with another one next week, hopefully. If not next week, the following week. All right, thank you guys.